Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Patrick Bartley here, and today we're going to be talking about some concepts that you can use to improve your playing in the early jazz idiom. So, early jazz, or trad jazz as we call it, or sometimes called Dixieland jazz, depending on what region you're talking about, is what we know as the earliest form of jazz, basically the primordial stew of jazz. And of course, this comes from New Orleans, and the music was also moved its way up to Chicago and New York. This is the earliest form of jazz you can hear being played by great artists such as Sidney Bechet, Louis Armstrong, Frank Kinchenbauer, and more. So everything that we're going to be talking about in this video can be found in my brand new jazz lessons video course, Early Jazz Soloing Concepts. So in this course, you'll find hours of content. We're talking about things that can help you with your soloing, historical resources, harmonic, rhythmic, melodic concepts, and so much more. So don't miss it. So if you like what you see in this video and you want to learn more about early jazz soloing concepts and more, of course, go ahead and navigate to the description box below, click that link, and be sure to type in code EARLY25 for $25 off the course. All right, everybody, I got something exciting to talk about. It's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and thanks to this wonderful channel and community, I'm glad that I have the opportunity to talk about it. This is my trad/early jazz checklist, and what I mean by that is, if you want to play trad jazz and you want to play it authentically, effectively, and most importantly, you just want to sound good and feel good, if you abide by at least these rules, not really rules, but guidelines, you abide by these guidelines, I can guarantee that you will start to improve your approach to playing early jazz music. So the first one might seem obvious, but we all like a little reminder from time to time. Embrace the one. So what do I mean by that? So, in the way that we're normally taught jazz, which is like starting in 1940 and moving instead of before 1940, a lot of times we're used to resolving and cadencing, let's use the word cadence, on the and of four. Or maybe right on beat four and maybe the and of one, whatever. We're used to doing those types of things. For example, 1, 2, ding, 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 check it, the boom, right? That's like, Elvin Jones, boom, something like that. We love that. That's the feeling of like bebop, post-bop, Kenny Clark, whatever. That's the feeling that we know of as the modern jazz sound. However, the music that was played in New Orleans and then later, of course, going up to Chicago and New York, that music was a little different, and it was made for a different type of dancing, which is the reason why I'm talking about embracing the one. So when I say embrace the one, if you're playing a line, or if you're playing any type of music rhythmically, when you're improvising, try to make sure that you embrace this feeling of gravity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, right? Okay, that's good. In some parts of New York, you also call that stomp music, like big band stomp music. So how do you kind of conceive of this when playing music? Okay, so if I have a line like, let's do a Charlie Parker line, right? Okay, that's kind of ending on like the end of one. Skek-on, right? Skek-on. Well, how can I turn a line like that and kind of make it more trad sounding? Oh, whoa, what just happened? Well, here's the thing. This is the reason why early jazz education is really important. Charlie Parker was a kid. He was a baby during the time of trad jazz as we know it. So he would probably hear a line like that. Something like that. And, well, if you want to turn it into bebop because the language is changing, you can add the bebop sound to it. Just a little extra note. But before that, we had the one. So that's how you can resolve on the one. And related to this, let's also talk about how you can resolve cadence on not just the one, but beat four is okay, and of three is also nice. We like to call it the Sonny Greer Duke Ellington shuffle. That's what I like to call it. I don't know if there's any other name for it, but that's what I like to call it. It's nice, right? This is a different type of feeling. And if I do that, you might notice your body start to move in a little different kind of way too, right? Well, that's the point. It's supposed to evoke a certain feeling that only this music can evoke for you. So that's that first concept with a second bonus one. listen to an example of me playing the melody and the improvisation over Fats Waller's Ain't Misbehavin'. And one of the things that I want to talk about with this song in particular is how how there's a difference between the way we normally are trained to play minor chords and bebop and beyond versus the way they were played in the earlier jazz settings. So, for example, the fourth bar of Ain't Misbehavin' has an A flat major chord going to an A flat minor chord. But you might notice that the melody has a G natural in it, right? It's you that I'm thinking of, right? That's a really melancholy sound. And one of the reasons why it's so important to point this out is because normally when we think of minor chords, we think of them as passing chords, right? We think about maybe an A flat minor 7 going to a D flat 7 as like a part of another sequence. But one thing I really like about minor chords in trad settings is that the minor chords almost feel like tonic chords. Like you're still playing the major sound like you would from like the tonic, which is the 1, right? Like a E flat major. You're still playing E flat major sounds almost over, or A flat major sounds. Either way, that G, you're still keeping that core sound in the minor chord. And I think that's a really cool sound. Hey everybody, so for this concept, we're going to be talking about motivic development. And motivic development is arguably the most important, or at least most crucial skill to have and to talk about when it comes to improvising, because it allows you to develop momentum in your solo, stay interesting, but also be able to be understood. You want to be able to be understood because this is all about communicating when having an improvised solo in any type of music, but especially in jazz. So today I'll be talking about 3 types of motivic development, and within these 3 types or categories, there's a myriad of different things you can do within them. But because these are the 3 most essential elements that make music, melody, rhythm, and harmony, I'm going to be talking about these 3 different ways that you can develop a motif or any type of melody when you're playing a solo. So the first type of motivic development we're going to be talking about today is melodic development. And what I mean by melodic development is being able to have one specific phrase or melodic grouping, 1 bar, 2 bar, 4 bars, whatever type of phrase you like to create, and modulating it through a given chord progression or section of a song to make it fit that part of the song as it moves. And today the song we're going to be using for all the examples is After You've Gone. And the reason why we pick After You've Gone is because there's a really interesting set of kind of harmonic groupings that fit really well together as 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. It kind of makes sense to see it in context that way. So in this example, I'm going to be taking 1 2-bar melodic cell and I'm going to move it through the different changes and see how I keep the same exact melodic shape, but just move it through the chord progression. So the second type of motivic development we're going to talk about is harmonic development. And harmonic development, especially in this exercise, may seem a little similar to melodic development, but there's one specific difference. And that specific difference is I'm changing my chord tones within a specific melody or melodic shape to fit the changing harmony. And that means that the rhythm, the specific melody might be changing. I'm not keeping the same exact, melody intervals, but I'm matching it with the same style as I made the first melodic idea that changed. So it's a little subtle difference, but you can hear it once you hear it in context. So let's check it out. All right, so this last example for motivic development we're going to look at is probably the simplest one for anybody to understand because you can do it even without an instrument. You can do it on your, pat your legs or a table or whatever. And we're talking about rhythmic development, of course. So rhythmic development is really special in the sense that you can basically take one type of rhythmic phrase and you can start with that to give you like inspiration or momentum. And what I like to do is keep maybe like 2 or 4 bars of playing the same rhythm and then maybe adding on to that, add another rhythm, maybe take a rhythm away or increase the speed, whatever. But you're keeping one note. So normally you don't have to just keep one note, but for the sake of this exercise to keep it simple, I'm showing you how you can make a really good sounding solo with just one note. You don't want to do one note for 5 choruses. People are going to get bored. But at least for one chorus, half a chorus, anything like that, you can actually do this. Sonny Rollins did this type of thing all the time. Louis Armstrong did this in his St. Louis Blues recording. There's so many different recordings you can find people taking one note and rhythmically developing it throughout their solo. So in this example, I'm just playing D concert, which is B on the alto, and I'm just going for it. I'm just having fun. And my advice to everyone who is trying to do more rhythmic development and trying to get more rhythm in playing, how do I feel good? How do I get more rhythm variety? Listen to drums. Listen to any type of rhythmic percussion, or even some piano players, you know, like, or rhythm section, any rhythm section players. They're called rhythm section for a reason. So go ahead and think like you're a drummer. Think like you're a drummer. Try to imagine that this note doesn't exist. You know, that you can't hear, you're completely tone deaf. You can't hear pitch. You can only hear one tone. And just go with it. Pretend like you're, or even if it helps you, maybe you can do like, you know, keep your finger on one note and pat a rhythm that you want to play, and then play that back right after. Who knows? Whatever helps you. The point is to keep it simple. The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Or keep it simple, stupid. Whatever, how they want to, I don't know if they're going to do anything in post, but KISS method. So let's see if I employ the KISS method in this example after you've gone. Rhythmic development. All right, everybody, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. And if you do want to see more of this, once again, don't forget to go in that description box below and hit that early 25 code so you can get $25 off the course. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all next time.